in your day-to-day life, you can't really turn the light around so easily because you've got to focus on outward things. So if you adopt the witness attitude throughout your daily life, for example, say the witness attitude is something that resonates with you as a teacher, doesn't resonate for everyone. If you can start to do that, then that's going to make your self-inquiry easier because you're less outward focused. So that you can think of two types of teaching. You can think of one teaching for when you're sitting and another teaching for when you're in daily life. And these two should complement each other and go together. So you got, in terms of teachings for daily life, when you're out in the world, when you're extroverted, you're at your job, you're dealing with practical life, whatever you're doing, you can just adopt the witness attitude. Or another one you can do is surrender. Or another one you can do is be grateful for whatever's happening. Give thanks to God throughout your daily life. See the face of God everywhere. See Ramana everywhere. In all the faces looking at you in your life, see Ramana looking at you. See Jesus looking at you. See the face of God everywhere. Know all to be one. Or take it all to be a dream. Take it all to be illusion. You see? There are various things you can do. And what this does, this relaxes you and takes away the idea of you being the doer and being a separate entity. Is the idea that the whole notion of separation is loosened. Because if you've spent 80% of your day with a very strong sense of me, and then you can think you can sit down for 10 minutes and do self-inquiry, you might find that difficult. Whereas if you spend 80% of your day doing your work, but with the attitude that God is doing this, or with the attitude this is not real, even though I'm paying attention and doing it properly and taking care of the body-mind and taking care of other body-minds and all my duties and responsibilities, at the same time you're saying it's all illusion. Both, you're doing both. You're being responsible and you're saying it's all God. Then when you come to your self-inquiry practice, even if you're doing 10 minutes, it's in the context of having loosened ignorance, loosened the ego throughout the day. So yes, it's not self-inquiry, but it's an aid to self-inquiry. If you read Who Am I, Ramana talks about aids to self-inquiry. That means it helps self-inquiry, it supports self-inquiry, but is not self-inquiry. And naturally, the mind that has got the balance right, has walked that tightrope that I was talking about with Jimmy, that tightrope between loosening and tightening, being too relaxed and too tense. That you find this point which feels right, It feels good, it feels right, and it feels easy. It naturally finds its own point. It's a bit like again a spinning top. When you spin it, it might go to one side, and suddenly it finds its equilibrium point and it stays still. It's a bit like that. You find your still point. I can't remember the point I was going to make now. What was I saying? You remember? Loosening, tightening, you find the point.
Yeah, well, I think the witness is one part during the day.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say is that through being still, if you find that still point, you'll naturally, you don't have to worry about turning towards the self. If you just be still, be with God, you're not trying too hard, you're not becoming too tight, too tense, you're not becoming too lax, relaxing too much and all the thoughts going everywhere and you're just getting carried away with objects. You find that still point. Be still. then when you all you have to do that, and then your mind will naturally start to introvert and go towards the self. Even if you haven't heard these teachings, your mind will start to do that. If you have heard the teachings, then it's more likely, because then some part of your subconscious go, oh yes, now who am I? I am the self. Okay, abide as what I am, or something along those lines. You will know that when you're blissed out in peace, you will know that you're still entranced with a subtle object. You'll know that's not self-inquiry. And so as that peace gets more and more subtle and more refined, then the mind starts to turn within.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's especially the daytime versus when we're in deeper, freer meditation to then focus more on the self. That's beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. Bhakti by day, jnana by night. Bhakti by day, jnana by night. Devotion, love, God by day. Your eyes are open. When your eyes are closed, abide as the self. It's all one. It's two ways talking about the same thing. Surrender. So, two paths to moksha: self-surrender, self-inquiry. Remember? Ramana says, self-surrender by day, when the eyes are open. Self-inquiry by night. Meaning, when I say that by night, I don't mean when you're asleep, I mean when your eyes are closed. It's all God stuff. Let God deal with God stuff. By day. Aham, 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 brahmasmi, brahmasmi, aham. The self-inquiry, knowing what you are. I am the self, Atma. Aham, aham, I.